What is up guys, Wraec is here with a new video, and today we are on the account of a guildmate of mine. At that note, don't forget, don't give any strangers your account data, might not end well for that. That's of course a guildmate of mine, he knows me, and in that case, that's alright. And we cleared Dominator on his account, and now you guys will be like, yeah, that's nothing special, you use an A tier SFX and then you can clear it, but there is something special. Because we didn't use any A tiers. Matter of fact, we only used, it says Flame Shrine, but it's our Dominator clear setup, we only used a single B tier. And we had C, C+, and just a single Homeowner in this team as well. And it worked. And that's quite cool, so I would like to show you guys this setup. But before, those copies aren't too great, they are alright. C tier, C plus speed, that's something that is quite good. In an ideal world you would want a B tier or B plus tier with control precision and CI offset, but we had this copy and it did quite well. We cleared most of it without too much effort. You can see the stats, 4.5 million attack, and what is most important for this, a super high speed stat, and we actually had a high Tree of Roots level as well. So it is really all about the speed on the Starring Jara if you want to follow the strat. 2380 was alright, we could do it. If you can pass like 2400, it starts getting really easy. We had a fair bit of tree unlocked here. We had level 60 and we had all the sublimations on the active, which help a lot, especially the bigger active on 200 energy that basically makes your active control everything, and the extra control position of course helped as well. One more thing, we used the Starring Jara core. I can fully recommend using the Starring Jara core for this and having the Starring Jara core when you clear this. You will CC some enemies very early on, before your Starring Jara even does her first active on turn 2, and locking down something like a Star Alchemist Homes in the enemy team or something like this can be crucial to winning fights, and will definitely spare your team a lot of early fight damage. So if you can get the core, do that. Maybe from some of the upcoming core chests, or go into the event, you will find some core chests there. Other than that, tree as high as it goes, and like 2379 speed was okay. Then we had different heroes in the team. The idea of this clear was to see if we could do it without a homed Aspen. And we could. We did it without a homed Aspen. Of course, this one has a little bit of Tree of Roots mats on him. We have level 20 here. But that's not too much. You can copy that, you can do that. A little bit of speed, and we changed to Demon Bell after Dominator 5, I believe, because the Aspen was slower than the enemies at this point, so we couldn't like CC the back row, which is his main role. And then we changed to Demon Bell. So basically keep in mind with that, the optimal artifact for him is Rui, until the moment you can no longer outspeed the back row. At this point, change to Demon Bell for better energy feed. Then we had the Vesa for a bit of heal, nothing too special there. And we used one Rogan. During most of the run I used the Demon Bell on him. In Dominator 1 I switched to Snowheart. And we used ATD, and the ATD, not for damage, but for this part of his active, deals damage to backline enemies and reduces their armor by 50%, which helps against panda teams, and the speed by 80. The speed by 80 is the important part, because we have a lot of very fast heroes in the Dominator stages, which you will see later, because I will add some fights to it, that we will also look at, and that we will also analyze a bit, not too in depth, but a little bit. And you will see the teamwork. With that, I will see if I can find some good Dominator 1 clears that really show the team. And then we have the Amra, which is really the only viable protection, because this Vesa without home barely out-heals some mark damage and stuff. But if you get like a hit from a Study Warriors, I don't know her name at the moment, you will take a lot of damage. And your team will suffer a lot, and if you don't have an armor shield, you're basically dead. Also, her healing curses help with clearing enemies like Ada and Garuda, so that's something to keep in mind. And for the imprints on the heroes, I went with rather defensive ones on most of those enemies. We have the R armor block here. On Aspen, I think I still have, the R crit chance, crit damage. And on the Starving Jara, I would recommend crit chance, crit damage, and armor break. Armor break actually pretty important. I really first noticed how good it is when I fought a Panda team, because I did like 0 damage to it. And with armor break, we just punched through and could do a lot more damage, which helped, of course. And then we have the Asmo with damage reduction, armor, and control immunity. The control immunity, rather than some additional defensive means, is there to make sure he doesn't get CC'd by the enemies and can attack every turn, so that we don't get a longer period of time where he doesn't attack and have the enemies lose the speed debuff that he applies. Then let's have a look at the homes. And one thing to add, maybe, when you have a look at the full clear, I recorded everything basically, and will upload that in a non-listed video that you can find the link above and below in the description. You will see that I switched the team around a bit. I think this last team that I just showed is the best method to clear it, actually. We have a full home, which is likely required because you will need all of the speed, unless of course you have a better copy. If you have a really good Starving Jara copy, like a B+ copy with B+ speed 44 or more and something like this, some crazy good copy, then you might need less CI materials, but like one full home is about what you should expect. We had Magic Fairy Freya here, but no mats on her, and our other mats were in a home without any homeowner in there. So that's something to be aware of. And I should have upgraded this hut, I just see. That would have helped. Would have been good, some additional stats, but it worked like a charm. We got through there quite well. When we watch the fight now, I will explain some more things and maybe some waves you should avoid and some ways to prioritize and something like this. So let's just hop into the fights. Gameplay now. Basically in the background you see 3 of my fights from Dominator 1. So the enemies are quite fast. As you can see, we take quite a beating in the first round, and as you also maybe saw, the Star Alchemist Homes in the enemy team was CC'd on turn 1. This was because of the Starving Jara core, which I highly recommend. If you want to go for this, go for a Starving Jara core, try to get this. We basically slow the entire back row with the S model, get some layers of the armor shields up, so when the Stardew Warriors breaks out, that we are in case prepared. We can block any damage. If the Star Alchemist Homes breaks out, it's mostly 50-50. If he has this potion up where he locks down the Starving Jara and with Perceptual Disorder, then we lose instantly. If this isn't the case, then we can push through. You can position the Aspen in front of the Star Alchemist Homes if you encounter too many difficulties. I usually tend to place the Aspen in front of the highest danger enemy, like a 4-Cs. If a 4-Cs attacks with an active, you are dead. Or Star Alchemist Homes. In this case, I think I have just used the setup I used in the fight before. But still, it was successful, so I thought I might share it and show it to you guys. For the next fight, we will see one of the more common stages. This one is actually quite easy, I think, in my opinion. You can just slow down the back row. In the front row, you see the thing I just said. The Aspen, the LFA, on the opposing side of the Star Alchemist Homes, and we are pushing through here quite well. The attack steal of the Starving Jara helps quite a lot and lets her deal a bunch of damage, and there isn't really much that can be a danger to us. And we are already through the stage. This one was quite successful. I was quite surprised as well. And now off for the last one. This was one I wasn't quite sure if we could beat it, but in general, this is not, there is no hero here that we have to avoid in any case. I positioned our heroes the way that they could survive. Targeted the Vesa so that she doesn't kill our heroes so often. Vesa can kill our heroes with multiple hits, get through the armor layers, and be quite a bit of the problem, while the other heroes really can't. If the Starving Jara and the enemy side attacks, we're mostly dead. But those Aspens, as you can see, are no real threat to us. Of course, these Alchemist Homes would be, but really isn't. And you can see the way this team actually works by having Starving Jara steal attack and then nuking the enemy with her active. So if you can do that, and if you have a Jara fast enough for that, then you won't encounter any problems. So those were basically the 3 gameplays I wanted to show to you guys. And now we are going to go back into the game. And we are back in the game now on my account. Just wanted to show you guys the thing that makes most of this clear work without using signets. And this is actually this part. Steals 35% of attack from the target for 2 rounds. And this allows us to bypass some of the radiation effects. If you don't know, the radiation effect in Vortex is an effect on every stage. It's different on every stage. That gives you kind of a disadvantage. In some stages, like minus 90% attack, minus 90% HP, or some kind of CC that is supplied every round, and all of that stuff, which can be quite of a problem and very annoying at that. But with this attack steal, we can actually recover some attack on the minus 90% attack stages. And we don't need signets there, so you can clear like Dominator 6 and 5 without signets. I cleared most of 3 without signets. I cleared 4 without signets. That was the wrong order, doesn't matter. And in 2 I started using signets to get Transcendence Protection. And finally in 1 I tried to clear most stages with only Transcendence Protection as well. And only on the last stages that I just couldn't clear, I used the remaining signets I had and got more protection for the other heroes that are in my team. We have like the Armorer and we have like the Rogan. So getting Forest and Dark protection can help. But there is a good amount of Transcendence heroes in this team, and this actually helps because if you have Transcendence protection, 4 heroes in the team I showed you are already protected. So that's quite something. And really helps us clear this stage. To conclude this, it's really, the key really is a big Starving Jara. You saw the Starving Jara on my guildmates account with nearly 2380 speed. If you can get that or more, you won't have a lot of problems. If you can get a good B tier copy, not something like this, really not a good B tier copy, but it's B tier copy and it has control immunity offset, this will help as well. Also the reason, by the way, that a lot of people are aware of this and bought the auction house basically empty, and copies are now very expensive for Starving Jara. But the thing that this video basically provides you is a way without clearing Dominator without any A tier heroes and also without 2 big homes. You just need 1 big home. No big home on good old Aspen, even though if you can, it really helps. Will make clearing a lot easier, of course, if you have a lot of CI and can make a big Aspen home as well to CC enemies on turn 1. But it isn't necessary, you can do it without. As always, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to write them in the comments. I will try to answer all of them, as always. And with that, I wish you a great day, a great week, and we will see us in the next video.